Okay. Welcome to Political Science Learning Hub. Welcome to our today's class. Okay, we are still on the series Introduction to Politics, Series 3. We looked at in the last class, Series 2, okay, where we dwelled on the conception and conceptualization of politics. But today, Series 3, we'll be looking at the science of politics. Okay, the science of politics will be our focus in today's class. Of course, it is the discipline is called political science. So, why the word science there? Okay, that's what we'll be looking at today in this class. The scientific status of the discipline, in summary. So, as a way of introduction, there is a sense there's a literature that there is a literature on politics as an art. Then there's literature also on politics as science. And there's this emphasis from the evolution of the discipline. Of course, when we go back to history, talking about the history and the evolution of the discipline politics, we know that politics is an extraction from philosophy, and philosophy is studied under art and not science. Okay, and there is this argument that politics cannot be studied scientifically, and so eventually we'll look at the approaches to the study of politics. We will deal with that this point precisely when we get to the approaches to the study of politics. So there we will see the argument. The traditionalists argue that politics cannot be studied scientifically, okay? But the behavioralist, the post Second World War scholars, people like the Harold Laswell, people like the David Easton, okay, and scholars like that, okay, argued that politics can be studied scientifically. And then under the approach or the framework of the behavioral sciences. Okay, so we will briefly focus in this lesson on that aspect, the second argument, okay, that argued that politics can be studied scientifically. And that's where the discipline got its name, political science. So we'll look at that science in politics. Okay, now let's begin by looking at the meaning of science. Okay, now science is the pursuit and application of knowledge and understanding of the natural and social world following a systematic methodology based on evidence. Okay, so all learning endeavor, you know, deal with the pursuit of knowledge, the understanding of the natural and social world. But the departure of the science, where science, the scientific method depart, okay, from that acquisition is the systematic methodological, study. And so it says following a systematic methodology based on evidence. So when you acquire this knowledge systematically, you acquire this knowledge methodically based on evidence, it's science. Okay, that's science. So the argument here is that politics also can be understood, can be studied, okay, systematically, methodically, based on evidence. And that's the argument that gave political science the scientific status and the name known as political science. Okay. In some other institutions, it could they call it Department of Politics. Okay, so perhaps they don't approach political science in a scientific way. They study it like the way the disciplines in art approach their study, philosophy, English, theater, act, and what have you, the way they approach their own study. Okay, but not like the way we do in the social sciences. So, in the social sciences, the concept of science, that method of science, the scientific method, is also applicable or applied to our own discipline. And that is what gave it that status of being a scientific discipline. Hope you understand that. Now, let's move ahead. Now, what are the canons of science? What are the pillars of science? What are the futures? The things that you will see and you say, okay, this is a scientific discipline. This is science. One is empiricism, two, determinism, three, parsimony, four, testability. Okay, testability. Um, There are more than this, but for the reason of this, course of this course or this study, let's just dwell with this four. Now, what is empiricism? Now, empiricism is a key concept in the scientific world. Okay. So this has to do with gaining knowledge through systematic observation of the world. Okay. It has to do with gaining knowledge through systematic observation of the world. Now, that is what the people in the natural sciences do. Okay. Yeah, we are in social science. Okay. Yeah, the pharmacists, the doctors, the biologists, and what have you, they are in the natural sciences. And what do they do? Okay. They gain knowledge through observation of matter. Okay. Yeah. Matter is a component of the world. In the slide, we use the word to cover all aspects of science, whether social, human science, natural science, biological science, or what have you. Okay. Yeah. Aeronautic science, yeah, a whole lot of science. Yeah. But we use the word here to cover all. So the pharmacist gain knowledge through the observation of matter. They will go get some element, get some herbs, get some, leaves, get the things, take to the lab, run through, subject some things to condition, and they come up with an empirical evidence or solution. Okay, so we can also do the same in the social sciences. So we can also gain knowledge of human behavior that relates to politics through empirical observation, through empiricism, okay, through empirical observation. And that is why we carry out our research, we insist and follow the scientific method the same way they do in the natural science or biological science. Okay, we can also, adopt those models, those methodology, and then apply them to political science and then study political phenomenon. Hope you get that. Look at the next one, which is determinism. So the assumption that phenomena have identifiable causes. Yeah. That nothing happened without the cause. Now, the whole concept around cause and effect. Okay. Cause and effect. If there is a cause, then there is an effect. Okay. If there's an effect, then there is a cause. Yeah. If somebody lost an election, there is a reason why he lost the election. If somebody wins election. Okay, there is a reason why he won the election. Okay, if a society is corrupt, there is a reason why that society is corrupt. That corruption is just an effect of a cause. Okay, if society is living in conflict, they are prone to revolution. A society that is prone to revolution, okay, yeah, there is actually a history, there's actually a cause that is causing that effect that we are seeing. Okay, so in political science, we are arguing that there is a cause for that, and then it can be found out. Okay, we can find out that cause that is, propelling the effect. We are only seeing the effect. We say, Nigerians leaders are corrupt. Okay, our elections are always rigged. Okay, the third world countries are poor. Right? These are hypothetical statements. Okay, that suggest an effect of something. Then we can look for the cause through research, through study. You get that? We can now identify the cause. And it's when we identify the cause, then I think we are a step close to, profiling solution. Like someone is sick, that's what the medical doctors do, right? Yeah. You go and say, you complain. They will subject you, that's effect. They will subject you through a process, which is a study, and find out, do some tests, find out what is causing those symptoms in your body. And once that is determined, then the next thing is recommendation for drugs and the way out. Okay, so that's determinism. So you can see that it also relates to the study of political science. Okay, the third canon, okay, the third pillar is parsimony. And what is it? It's the assumption that the simplest explanation of a phenomenon is most likely to be correct. Okay, this is quite related to the last canon we just looked at. Okay, that the simplest explanation of a phenomenon is most likely to be the correct. Still, supporting the first argument or the last argument that says that there is cause and effect. Okay. Yeah, there must be explanation. First of all, there must be explanation. If there are no explanation to social phenomena, then there will be problem. Okay. There is no headway. Yeah. If a leader is tyrannical, okay, if a leader is dictatorial, there's an explanation. Okay, there's an explanation. Why was Hitler what he was? Okay, if you study his history, you will see some things that explain, his actions, why he was that tyrannical. Okay, so that is what science is all about under the canon of parsimony. Okay, that there is always an explanation. Most times, that simplest, that common explanation can just be, um, the correct response or answer to the effect actually that is being manifested. Okay, all right. Let's move to the next. Okay, testability, the next canon, testability. Now, it said the assumption that explanations of behavior can be tested and falsified through observation. Okay, this is another core canon of what? Of science. Okay, core canon of science that especially within the framework now of the social science, because we deal with behavior. Okay, the social science deal with the behavior, the aspect of behavior, be the psychological behavior, be the social behavior, be the economic behavior, be the political behavior. Okay, within the framework of the social sciences, but we are looking at the behavior that relates to politics. Okay, so political behavior. So the argument on that testability is that one can exercise, if a leader exercises um, a political behavior, that political behavior can be tested and falsified through observation. Okay, yeah. You say, why is he behaving like this? You carry out a test. Okay, yeah, is either to conform or you know affirm the behavior. So it's either you carry out test to either approve or disapprove, okay, that behavior. So we talk about testability as it is done in science. Okay, you can assume that this leaf will cure malaria, that there are elements in that leaf that can be anti-malaria. So you go to the lab to test, right? Yeah, a scientist, a pharmacist, a medical doctor, a physiologist will go to the lab to test. Okay, but we also can do the same. That's what we are saying. That also political scientists can also do same. Okay, in terms of behavior. So we can actually test and falsify behavior through actually observation. Okay, yeah, observation is a method of data collection, okay, in within the framework still of the scientific method of understanding and acquiring knowledge. So observation is one of the techniques of collecting data. Yeah, so when you observe empirically, you observe, then you'll be able to interpret. You'll be able to interpret. So you observe, you compare, you contrast, you observe again, you compare, you contrast, and then it will lead you to a way out. So these are actually the four canons of science that are applicable to political science, that qualify political science to be called a scientific discipline. Now, the science of politics. Now, let's now apply it to political science. Say the systematic study or analysis of politics is called political science. Can you see it now? It has played out, okay, itself. The systematic study or analysis of politics is called political science. So when we engage politics systematically, analytically, methodically, then what you are engaged in is in political science. What you are engaged in is political science, the discipline political science. So political scientists adopts the canons of science in the study or research of political science. Okay. So when we engage political phenomena through this ambit, through the ambit of the canon of science, what you are dealing with is political science. Okay. So thank you for listening. Thank you for your time. We will bring the class to an end here. Okay, so today, of course, we look at the scientific nature of politics, looking at the four canons, okay, of science that relates to political science. So from this class, you can, anywhere in the world, defend political science as a discipline, okay, as a scientific discipline. I guess that is understood, okay. So please do well to like, do well to share, do well to subscribe to our page. Okay. See you in the next class. Bye for now. Again, don't forget my name, Dr. Daniel Godwin. Bye.